So now we're going to do some searching in EBSCO itself. And I'm going to do a search for Lululemon fat shaming. And when the results come up, there's 2 articles. And I know, because I've just done a Google search on this, that there are thousands. So why are we only getting 2? And there's a couple reasons. One is because EBSCO searches each word within 5 words of the other words. So one thing we're going to do here is we're going to move fat shaming. Whoops. We're going to do Lululemon here and fat shaming here. And that will get us a few more articles. Only gets us 4, it's not great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these articles and see if I can find something that gives me some additional search terms. And so one that I'm getting is Abercrombie, right? Because Abercrombie and Fitch had a similar problem. So we could do Lululemon or Abercrombie, right? And another word for fat shaming or this concept, it would be body shaming, right? And so we'll do that search, and now we're at 7 results. It's still teeny, it should be much more. And so this article from Time comes up. So that's interesting. It's a little old. You'll see it's from 2013, but it is exactly what we're talking about. And what we can do is see that there are some subject headings that are exactly what we're talking about. So discrimination against overweight persons in fashion. I'm not seeing fashion, but I'm seeing sportswear. So we could use this search, but I also see plus size women's clothing. So what I'm going to do, I could either copy and paste this and do a new search for that. The other thing I'm going to do is click on the article. And here I can just click on plus size women's clothing and do a whole new search for that in the subject heading. And now there's 199 articles, including some interesting ones, again, from popular magazines, from Essence. There's 2 articles from Essence. Looks like that was a particular issue in September of 2019. And here's one in a scholarly article called Fashion Today, the Journal of Dress, Body, and Culture from 2014, but it's talking about what the effect is, right? So we know that the topic is Lululemon and body shaming, but why is that important? We kind of know instinctively why that's important, but we want to have some scholarly articles to tell us why. There are not a lot. We could limit here, and we see that there's just 11. But this at least gives us some additional terms to search on. And we could also do, I want to see and then the other thing I would do is maybe overweight women and fashion, right? Because that's even the broader topic of what we're talking about. And so there are not a lot of articles here, but they're going to be very relevant. So essentially, my big strategy for how to work on this, any of your topics, is to do a bunch of searching, find some articles. So here's an article about women's fashion magazines for plus size women, right? It's a scholarly article. It's a little old, but it probably is going to give you some information about the market for fashion in plus size women. And then it's partly going to be your job to see how relevant that still is. Women's Wear Daily is in here. And as I'm going through this, I'm sighing because I'm seeing that a lot of them are really old and probably not particularly useful, because this one looks kind of good, but it's from November of '87. So that's kind of why I sighed there. So I don't think this is a great search. This might be useful. And then I would say, okay, let's do some additional searching. And I'm going to look at the search history here because I can't remember what I searched. So if I look at the search history, I want to look at this Lululemon. I think I'm going to copy this plus size women's clothing. I'm going to go back to this article. And I'm going to say, or plus size women's clothing, or overweight. Spell it correctly. And now I'm going to do a search. And there's 13 results. So really what we need to do is we need to do Lululemon and Abercrombie, and we need to broaden that piece out. So then what I'm going to do is fashion or clothing, and swimsuits. I saw some interesting articles earlier. And now we're at 852, right? So in some ways that's too big. So I'll show you a way to narrow this down briefly. So we can go over here. We can limit by year. I might say 2010 to 2020, and now we're at 542. So that's one way of narrowing down. We could look at just the scholarly articles. We could look at just the trade publications. And for now, that's it. I'm gonna stop this and pick this up in another video, but if you need to take a break, go ahead and do that.